Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. My name is Ash, aka I'm Ghostbuster. Today I'm doing a review for Ancestors Legacy on Xbox. Now this actually came out way back in 2019, developed by Destructive Creations, and it was published by 1C Online Games Limited. And I was lucky enough to get a copy of this game to do this video review, so big thank you to them for that. Now this is an RTS game. If you've ever played Company of Heroes, imagine that mixed with sort of Age of Empires, but much more brutal, basically. And this is what you're going to get. Now, RTSs, I've found, majority of the time, don't work well on console. There are very few that I have enjoyed as much as PC. Now, I love a good RTS, Age of Empires, Age of Mythology. I could play till the cows come home, Battle for Middle-earth, those sort of things. But I'm always looking for something I can play with a controller and it be enjoyable. And like I say, I've been let down many a time before. There's normally, for every one great RTS, there's 10 that suck with their controls. But I'm pleased to say this has transferred over really, really well. They've done a fantastic job of making it work on a gamepad. So big credit to the developers for that. Now, this game has a lot of things going for it. The main aspect of it, though, is its story mode, in which you basically have a series of campaigns that are based on sort of medieval Europe histories, and they include different nations. So you can play as Viking, Anglo-Saxon, German, and Slav. Now you start off with Viking, but once you've completed that, they all unlock and you can then play the others in any order. Now, each of these campaigns is split into two sort of sections. So you get like two story scenarios per faction, and in each of these scenarios, there are 5 missions. So all in all, there's 10 missions per faction, basically. So that's 40 levels worth of content just for the campaign. And the campaign is great. It's got fantastic voice acting. It's got fantastic music. Like I say, it works really well. And also the menu music is pretty cool as well. It's like very cool sort of rocky music. I like that. Gets you really in the mood to sort of like start a war, basically. But like I say, there's 40 levels, hours and hours and hours and hours of content. Obviously, they all play differently because they're all sort of different factions. And I thought that was really interesting. I love how the stories progress with like there's like cutscenes, but it's like arts and stills and stuff like that. It's I found it was really interesting. I like the sort of style of them, just to progress them. So I think more games in RTS games, instead of just having a static screen with text, should do what they've done in this game, basically. Now, when you start the Viking game, it's basically, the first one is just basically a tutorial, getting you used to the game, how to do everything and stuff like that. It does take a little bit of getting used to on the controller. At a time, I kept clicking the wrong thing to do the wrong thing, and I was picking someone to do this, and when I wanted them to do something else. But after a few missions, you sort of get it down to a T, and you get a much quicker at carrying out your actions, basically. Now, as you can see on the screen, when you're looking like at the overview of the screen, it looks absolutely fantastic. They've done an amazing job with the graphics. Now, this game is built with Unreal Engine 4, and at the time, like I say, this was the bee's knees, and it still holds up today. Like I say, it's been out a fair few years now, still looks fantastic. It's got great sort of fire effects. It's got all like the weather and stuff effects as well. It looks really good. They've done a fantastic job on that. One other thing that I quite like about this game is you also get to set up a selection of sort of temporary bases, and then that opens up sort of like base building into the game. And in these sort of things, you can build 9 different structures in your little bases. Stuff like barracks, houses to increase your sort of squad capacities. There's all sorts of things. The sort of standard stuff you can get, like a church, which improves your stats by like them praying, and if the gods answer, it improves your stats. There's like archery range, which makes your archers better. There's the sort of generic sort of stables and blacksmiths, those sort of things, and you can basically capture vacant villages while you're playing, along with the campaign, and basically expand on them, build them up, and it gives you that sort of buffs and sort of squad training you needed to sort of progress further. Now, this game also includes multiplayer, and unfortunately I didn't get to play a lot of multiplayer. I couldn't really get a proper game online. There isn't as many people playing it now as there was, obviously, at launch. But with multiplayer, you also get player versus enemy and player versus player. So you can have sort of 2v2, so you can play against bots, and you can play against other players, or you can have players work with you to play against bots, which is a really nice touch. That's not the main thing for me. I was more interested in the story mode and stuff like that, and it was really, really fantastic from an RTS standpoint. Like I say, the only downside I've found so far really is the online is just lacking players. Now, like I say, I highly recommend this game. It is priced at £29.99, and it's playable on Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S. It's Xbox One X enhanced with 4K resolution, and like I say, it does have online multiplayer. Up to 6 people at a time can be in an online game, which is awesome, and you can have co-op, obviously, up to 3 players as well. Now, there are achievements in this game. You are looking at a slog to get through it. It's not an easy achievement list. Just the main game alone, you're looking at sort of, I would say, 15 to 30 hours, depending on how quick you play through it and stuff like that. There is a lot of content. It's really, really well done, I must admit. I really, really enjoyed it. It's hard to show it from playing it on the screen. It doesn't convey like how enjoyable it is. All you're seeing is just me clicking randomly, whereas when you're actually playing it, it's just really good. Like, the animations are great. I love historical games, and I love Viking games, but I love the fact that there's not just the Vikings. There's obviously like the Anglo-Saxons and the Slavs and the stuff like that. There's just so much content. It feels like way more than you would expect from something like this. But overall, like I say, it all depends on your sort of preference. I highly recommend it, especially for an RTS on a console, because it's one of the best ones I've played. Works really well, and like I say, it's graphically impressive. The voice acting and the audio is impressive. It's just the multiplayer, which I'm not that fussed about, which is a negative. Anyway, that's that for this review, guys. If you've enjoyed it, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and we'll see you soon for more gaming content. Bye for now.
Lost their lives or became captives.